My name is Gary Metallic. I'm the District Chief of the Listuguj Overseers Tribal Council.
And I'm Frank Sorby, Sub-Chief of the Listuguj Tribal Council.
We're here to talk about what's going on around the Junex company and also Galt projects and the blockade. What do you think about what's going on?
What do we think? From what we've heard, we support the blockade, and I think a lot of our people support it. We don't want oil exploration, oil or fracking exploration or extraction being done on our territory because it's going to hurt the environment, water, wildlife, and so forth.
Basically, you said it all, basically, so.
What do you think about all those people who want to be in relation with the Mi'kmaq people and fight together against this project that is devastating the land?
Well, I think we have to form those alliances because, as we spoke about earlier, it's okay to have protests and blockades, but that alone will not be enough to stop whatever governments and mining or gas and oil fracking are trying to do because they have the courts at their service, and it's just a matter of time before they dismantle. But we have to form that alliance that we talked about, where our legal defense in Aboriginal title claim is combined with what your people are trying to do over there. When we put the two together, it would be, I think, very hard for Quebec to challenge Aboriginal title.
And what do you think about this? I think a resurgence also of settlers wanted to do links of solidarity and struggles with indigenous people. In that case with Mi'kmaq people, but it's like on different ways and different fronts.
Well, our position has always been as the 7th District Tribal Council. We have to coexist. Nobody's going anywhere. We've been here for lived together several hundred years. It may have not been the most peaceful relationship, but right now the way things are going, governments and these corporate raiders are destroying our lands and resources and environment, and it's time for the people to stop them. And the only way to do it is to form these alliances, whether it's Mi'kmaq, French, Acadian, English. This is the only way that our voices will be heard.
What did you think about the reaction of Manon Jeannot, the band council chief of Gaspé?
It's a typical reaction from a band council, especially if they're doing business with governments and oil and gas companies. I think that's what we have here in the district. That's the relationship that has existed, I believe, since 2005. And just the statement alone, her statement alone, saying that if we did oppose what's happening in the oil extraction or gas by Junex or Squatex, they would meet face to face. But they've already been meeting face to face for almost a decade. So, and I don't think they have any intentions of opposing what's going on, based on her statement.
What should be done right now?
Right now, as I mentioned earlier, the alliances have to be formed together with the people that are at the protest site and our traditional tribal district government. We have the means to provide the legal and constitutional arguments that this land still belongs to us. Quebec had no business issuing any licenses to anybody without our consent. So what we do is we challenge them on that. And I think bringing up this land claim, Aboriginal title land claim, with the constitutional arguments that go with it, that it's still unceded Mi'kmaq lands, we will get their attention for sure.
Why do you think the people in a lot of environmental groups and mostly settlers don't understand the relation between capitalism and the band councils? Like they don't take this as a consideration when they speak about relation with indigenous people. That makes a lot of people mixed up about they're being surprised about band council signing agreements with companies, or just supporting, or just not resisting, so whatever.
Well, that's a big problem, because even we have that amongst ourselves. Our own people don't understand it. But because of these backroom, closed-door negotiations with governments and oil and gas companies, we don't know what's going on, but we, as the traditional district government, know that the relationship is not legitimate, because there's a definition of band councils and the traditional ancestral governing systems, and that means that traditional ancestral systems were here long before the band councils were created in 1876, and therefore the band councils are they're a federal entity, one entity negotiating itself for our land claims and rights. And that's the key. Our defense for court purposes is that specifically points that out. And to add to that, we also have that clause for coexistence with the non-native settlers, that this can be done easily. As I said, we've lived together for over a century.
Okay. Outside of this situation and more largely, what do you think we can build as a relation in more concrete ways to build better relations between indigenous and non-indigenous people?
Better relations, I think there's one common factor that will bind us all together, and that Mother Earth and the resources have to be protected, because if you look around the globe and what's happening, global warming and so forth, water being contaminated, like in North Dakota, if that's contaminated, water's contaminated, water provides life to everybody, humans and species. Now, if we don't protect that, if we can't do that, as human beings, well, what's going to happen? And the other reason why we have to form these alliances and coexist is our governments, whether federal or provincial, have done a terrible job of managing our lands and resources, as we can see today. The result of it is global warming. We have scientists saying that if this doesn't stop fossil fuels, the use of fossil fuels, mankind will just disappear, almost like the dinosaurs. But nobody's listening. So the alliances between our people have to be formed to take that authority back from these governments who have abused the authority that was given to them either by your system, your voting system, and our people have to now assert that Aboriginal title, to take that back as well. And that's where the coexistence will come in.